The Karate Kid, actually all three of the original Karate Kid movies, I'm not counting the fourth one because it's absolutely trash, are some of my favourite movies of all time. Growing up on the tales of Daniel Larusso and Mr. Miyagi, they were some of my first introductions to film as a whole. From the moment I saw the first back in around 2007 to this very day, all three have remained lodged in my mind, immovable from my top films list. But this video isn't about the Karate Kid. This video is about Cobra Kai. Releasing back in 2018 as one of YouTube Premium's premiere shows, Cobra Kai was met with mass amounts of praise. But despite my indescribable love for the originals, I can never quite justify getting a whole streaming service for one show. So I skipped out on what I thought would be a letdown of a sequel. And fucking hell, was I wrong. Finally getting around to it as it dropped on Netflix, I thought I'd check out an episode or two to see if it lived up to all those memories I had. I ended up binging all 2 seasons in the span of a day. And that's for good reason. The creators of Cobra Kai somehow brought such a timeless cult classic, an 80s masterclass, into the modern day, and they did it near flawlessly. While so many reboots and rehashes of classic box office hits end in an abundance of fan service and cheesy dialogue, Cobra Kai instead found the key to bringing these characters and that story back. They focused on their own story. Instead of the main plot revolving around Daniel and Johnny, they instead focused on the likes of Miguel and Robbie, and in a way created an alternate timeline of the originals. Miguel from the offset embodies what Daniel was at the start of the Karate Kid, a working class kid living with his mother, being bullied day and night. But instead of finding the peace and protection of a Mr. Miyagi, he instead finds the man the audience has always seen as the villain, the bully. Miguel's arc in the show perfectly mirrors Daniel's in the original, showing us what could happen to such a kid if he's put on the wrong road. Miguel goes from lovable underdog to the very same bully type character we see him be put down by, as the way of the fist is ingrained in his head, whilst on the other hand, we have the juvenile delinquent, Johnny Lawrence's own son, finding the exact opposite, finding Daniel and through Daniel finding his own Mr. Miyagi. The way the two story interlink throughout the first season is perfect, as the new aspect of family dynamics just adds to the tension and conflict that the entire season is built on. And by the end of the first season, by the time the championship comes around, we see both characters mirroring each other exactly. Daniel and Johnny on the other hand, we see their roles flip too. Cobra Kai perfectly blurs the morality between these two iconic characters, showing us what's right and wrong is all down to perspective. Johnny sees Daniel as the kid who stole the love of his life. Daniel sees Johnny as the evil bully who tried to kill him. But when it comes down to it, they're both wrong during the majority of this show. So when we see Johnny changing his ways, changing the ways of Cobra Kai by the end of season 1, it's the perfect end to a near 40-year character arc, from lost student to wise mentor. The entire premise of this first season is essentially based on those infamous words of Mr. Miyagi, that there's no such thing as a bad student, only a bad teacher. And then enters Kreese, the eternally twisted, broken man, stuck in the mentality of war throughout his entire life. And just at the moment Johnny pledges himself to improving Cobra Kai, his old sensei stops him right in his tracks. Whilst to be honest, the love triangle plotline that much of season 2 focuses on is really only passable, the way we see the individual characters adapt through it is fantastic. As Miguel's arc is beautifully executed, the story of Dimitri and Eli's broken friendship is quality, and the struggles of Sam are frustrating yet understandable. And when it comes to Johnny and Daniel, the depth of their relationship just continues to improve, as the grey morals of each dojo creates brilliant, unwavering conflict. And finally, just to quickly hit on some other points, the show is shot gorgeously. It's perfectly conservative with its callbacks to the original, as its inclusion of certain lines or flashbacks emotionally fit and aren't simply forced in. And along with that, there isn't any true filler episodes, concisely and effectively using the 5 to 6 hours of each season. Honestly, I cannot recommend this show enough. If you're a fan of the original Karate Kid trilogy like I am, you'll undoubtedly adore this show, but even if you're not, I'd recommend it nonetheless, as in itself, it's truly a great piece of television, outside of its connection to any other film. And whilst I heavily doubt they're watching this, I just want to make it clear how much I appreciate the creators of this show for bringing the series back to life and giving it the love, the passion, and the respect it deserves. Thanks for watching. This was a bit of a shorter one. I just needed to get a quick review out of this show because I've absolutely fallen in love with it. If you did enjoy the video, it'd really be appreciated and really help me out if you could hit like. And if you're new here and want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe with post notifications turned on. With all that being said, I've been Joe, aka Founder Scarab, and I'll see you in the next one.